Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another video. And today, I would like to share my thoughts on this new video from IGN, the 25 best JRPGs of all time, which this list was sent to me the other day by a good friend and subscriber of the channel, Nuke, who sent me the list and wanted me to take a look at it, watch the IGN video, and perhaps do my own video on it. So after finally watching the IGN video, as well as seeing some other people's discussion on Twitter, as well as 4chan, and particularly the board V, where all the chuds hang out, I decided, you know what, let's make our own video. And I gotta say, the overall list is fine. It's actually a pretty decent list, although it's a bit more normie tier, I'd say. It's a list you give someone who's new to JRPGs and they don't know where to begin. Give them the IGN list, solid games to get started, and then they can branch out and find more of the obscure games. And there are some obscure games mentioned here, but it's mainly normie tier. And again, with any top 25 list, particularly JRPGs, if you go to 10 different people, they're going to give you 10 different lists. Maybe it'll have the same games, but the order will all be different. I can't imagine everyone's order is the same. So I don't even care about the order, it's just the content of the games, and, you know, it's fun. Now, the problem I have with this is the fact that the video itself sucks. It is so bad, man. Right away, it starts off with the narrator reading the script mentioning the fact that, oh, the script was written by so-and-so, and then after watching the video, I have concluded myself that the script was either written by ChatGPT or Grok or some other AI service because it's just so fake. And still, the constant jabs at anime and JRPGs where it's, oh, the spiky-haired anime protagonist and this and that, and oh, the anime fan service. Like, shut the fuck up. What are you even doing making this video if these things get you so mad? It's unbelievable. That's why, you know, this video has already been done by better JRPG YouTubers, or can be made by better JRPG YouTubers, because IGN doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. And go to one of their channels, and I'm sure you'll find a more high-quality video where they actually explain things better. But, you know, it just pisses me off, because, you know, the only reason why IGN is popular is because they got there early. You know, one of the early YouTube channels from 2006, they might have been around as a website early on as well, before YouTube even existed. But, you know, I remember watching back in the day when Jessica Chobot was still on, and she was pretty hot, man. I think she was a cosplayer or something. But they would do, like, the daily news or maybe weekly news. And it got to the point where, you know, these people are a bunch of shills. And obviously, the smaller YouTubers are better to get your information as time passes. Because you watch the reviews, they don't even know what they're talking about. I remember, I think it was Shin Megami Tensei 5 where, oh, Pokemon. It's, you fucking retard. Pokemon came after Shin Megami Tensei. You know, what are you talking about? So, as always, we have our little watermark here, Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, because it don't matter. None of this matters, and this is just my opinion. So feel free to leave your opinion down below. I will tell you at the end of the video my top 3 favorite JRPGs of all time. I'll save that for the end. But at this time, I can't do my own top 25 because there's too many games. But I'll give you a top 3. So as far as the video goes, you see it was uploaded the other day. Almost 250,000 views. And then the likes and dislikes, not bad. I mean, there's probably more dislikes because this thing undervalues it, the extension I have. But I'm not going to give it one way or the other because it's not a good video, but it's not bad enough to give it a dislike, if you know what I'm saying. Now, at the commenters, one of the Anons here gave the whole list right there, so we'll go through it. Which, again, it's one game per franchise. And starting with Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. And right away, you knew it was going to be a bad video because this other commenter mentions SMT Nocturne, plays SMT4 music, talking about SMT6, which doesn't even exist. Yes, this is an IGN video. So true. And the point is, he's trying to talk about Shin Megami Tensei 6, but he meant 5. Like, the guy reading the script has no idea what the fuck he's even talking about. You can clearly tell. Like, the script writer maybe knew what he was talking about, but the guy reading it has no fucking clue. He's just reading the words on the screen. So, again, just by including SMT3, you also have 4 Apocalypse, 5 Vengeance. Include any of them, perfectly fine. Breath of Fire 3, again, yeah, I wouldn't include it, but, you know, you want to include 3 or 4, fair enough. Golden Sun and The Lost Age, those are Game Boy Advance games, and interesting to include the two of them. But I guess they go hand in hand. I think The Lost Age is a prequel, or in that case, you play as the villain, or something different like that. So, yeah, include a Game Boy Advance game. I would personally, I don't see it on the list here, I would have personally included for a handheld game Radiant Historia, which is a DS and also a 3DS game, but that's beside the point. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. I don't particularly care for this game, but again, it's more normie tier. And the amount of times they mention Pokemon in the fucking video, it's like, dude, I know Pokemon is baby's first RPG, but there's more to RPGs and JRPGs than fucking Pokemon. And for that, you know, if I'm going to play that, I'm play Pokemon. Lost Odyssey, I mean, definitely should be on the list. I'd bump it up higher. But it's funny when they talk about Lost Odyssey, because this was probably recorded before Expedition 33 came out, and they mention how, like, the ultra-realism is making its way back, probably in reference to Expedition 33, and how this game wasn't appreciated at the time because it was from Hironobu Sakaguchi after he left Square and went on to form Mistwalker, and a fucking Kino game, Kino story, just everything about it. A game ahead of its time. Like, if this game came out now, they'd be praising it to high heavens, but I guarantee you, IGN gave it like a 7 out of 10 back in the day, when it's definitely worthy of a 9 or 10 out of 10, honestly. It's a fucking great game. And honestly, it would have been better off on the PS3 than the Xbox 360. Star Ocean: The Second Story. Again, just by including a Star Ocean game, you essentially include all of them. The best Star Ocean games, well, in my opinion, is 6, The Divine Force. That's my favorite, but it's either that one or The Second Story. And then when you talk about 1, 3, 4, you get like a mixed bag. Some people really love them, some people dislike them, and then 5 is probably everyone's least favorite Star Ocean game. So by including that is fine. Now, the problem with that, which I want to show you too with this. All right, here's how it starts. So it's narrated by Nick here. And then I think it shows where the script is written, like, later on. Yeah, edited by Michael, and then the script was written by someone else. They have all these credits, all these credentials there. And as the game, or the video progresses here, like, constantly, there'll be watermarks that say footage from World of Long Plays. So IGN is too fucking lazy. Right there. If that thing will disappear, you can see it in the corner, but you know, the play button's in the way. You can kind of see it. Courtesy, I'll play it right there. Courtesy of World of Long Plays. So they're stealing footage. Hopefully they ask World of Long Plays if they can use the footage. But again, you're fucking IGN. How are you not getting your own footage? Like, you're taking it from another YouTuber? It's just ridiculous. So my point with Star Ocean is they start by showing the footage of Star Ocean: The Second Story from the PlayStation 1. Okay? They're talking about the PlayStation 1 game. Okay, there's the footage. And then as the video progresses, they start showing footage from Star Ocean: The Second Story R. Now, with Star Ocean: The Second Story, there's 3 different ways to play. You can play the PlayStation version, the PSP version, Second Evolution, or in my view, the definitive version, Star Ocean: The Second Story R, which this is the best way to play it. It has so many great quality of life improvements and sticks to the original. It's so fucking good. But it's just wild how they're talking about the PlayStation 1 version, and they're showing footage from the remake. Like, they don't even know what's going on. Then Bravely Default 2. I mean, Bravely Default 2 is a solid game, but it's not top 25. What are we talking about here? Same as Live Alive. I mean, I've never even played Live Alive, but I wouldn't include it in the top 25. Absolutely not. Tales of Vesperia. My favorite Tales game is Tales of Berseria. So I'm glad to see a Tales game listed here. Honestly surprised they didn't put Symphonia or Abyss. So, you know, it's cool to see Vesperia. When it comes to Berseria, again, my favorite Tales game. People either really love the game, like myself, or they're just indifferent on it. I don't think anyone really hates Berseria. But yeah, people who really love it, well, they'll put it as their number 1 Tales game, or people who are kind of like meh, and they'll say Abyss is the best, Zilly is the best, Vesperia is the best, Symphonia is the best, etc., etc. Kingdom Hearts 2, solid. I mean, that would be on my list as well. Grandia 2, a solid inclusion. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I haven't played Infinite Wealth, but I played Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is Yakuza 7, the one that comes before this. Definitely, I'd include Yakuza Like a Dragon, and by all accounts, I think this one is even better because of how it continues Kiryu's story. connecting it to Ichiban. So that's cool. Xenogears. Now this is an interesting point right here, because later on we'll see Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and I thought they were limiting it to one per franchise, but they include Xenogears and then Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which, yeah, I'd include Xenogears as well. And what everyone gets wrong with Xenogears, even the JRPG YouTubers, is when they criticize it, they always talk about, oh, Disc 2, they didn't have the budget to finish the game, and this and that, it turned into a visual novel, oh, it's too confusing. No, honestly, that's probably the better part, because the big problem with Xenogears is it didn't age very well in the fact that traversing through the dungeons and some of the platforming areas where you got to move around and get the camera positioned right, it just didn't age very well. But as far as the actual story goes, it's one of the most keynote JRPGs you're ever going to get. However, to truly appreciate it, you have to understand religion as well as the philosophers which influenced Tetsuya Takahashi, the creator. So for religion, obviously Christianity, Jewish mysticism, as well as Gnosticism. And then for the philosophers, all the influences and everything there, you have Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, Nietzsche, and so on and so forth. And, you know, that's why when you get to the Xenosaga games, you have, the game is called, like, the Will de Rock, which, the will to power, and thus spoke Zarathustra. And like, the average person doesn't know what any of that shit even means. So, of course, IGN isn't going to know what it means, and so they're going to dwell on the fact that, oh, they didn't have the budget for Disc 2, and they missed the whole point of it. Which, it's basically religion. That's the point of it. It's one of the most red-pilled games you'll ever come across, but again, the average normie has no fucking clue. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Like, I know I said the order doesn't matter, but man, putting Paper Mario, a fucking baby game, above Xenogears is just wild. I don't know. Maybe I'd include one of the Mario games. To me, I'm more partial to Super Mario RPG, but with the Paper Mario games, yeah, the Thousand-Year Door is better than the N64 one. And then, I guess you have the Game Boy Advance and the DS ones. Like, Superstar Saga was pretty good, but is it top 25 worthy? I don't know. Octopath Traveler 2. I only played Octopath Traveler 1. It was quite good. People have said Octopath Traveler 2 is better than 1. So, you know, I guess. Now, here's a good one. Trails in the Sky First Chapter, which I guess we'll scroll up for that, because that was nice to see. And, you know, Trails in the Sky First Chapter isn't the best Trails game, but again, do you see that courtesy of World of Long Plays? Let's go back. Look at that. It's just fucking wild. It's just the intro, man. Now, the thing of it is, like, Trails in the Sky First Chapter isn't the best in the Trail series. I have my own video ranking the Trail series from Sky First Chapter to Reverie, because that's all I've played to up to now. I haven't played the Daybreak games or Kuro or Kai no Kiseki yet, but I will eventually. This is definitely the best starting point. When people, oh, where do I start with Trails? Can I start with Cold Steel 4? Well, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but if you want an honest opinion, you need to start with Trails in the Sky First Chapter and play it in release order, because of all the games that require following a proper order, it's the Trail series, because of how interconnected everything is. I guess you can play like the Cold Steel games first, then go back, whatever you want to do. But for me, as someone who did play the games in release order, that's the definitive way to go. It's one of the best. I mean, it's just so good, man. But IGN did not do a good job at explaining, like, how great the world building is in the game and how everything's interconnected. They just said, oh, it's, you know, a classic Neon Falcon game, and it's got the cute little chibis and this and that. Like, the guy, he has no fucking idea what he's even talking about. And the average IGN viewer, like, you know, the JRPG fans will find this, but the average IGN viewer is like, what even is this? Ooh. They have no fucking clue. So, but, you know, it's good it's included. So, then what's after that? We'll scroll back down here. Then, okay, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Which, yeah, you know, if we're going to include a Pokemon game, they're the best Pokemon games. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the definitive best Pokemon games. I would include Pokemon on top 25. You know, as much as I don't like it anymore, like, Pokemon has gone down the tubes in recent years, yet people still buy it because it's Pokemon. But yeah, Heart Gold and Soul Silver are obviously the best. Suikoden 2, definitely got to include that there. Earthbound, one of the most overrated games I've ever played. Earthbound fucking sucks. I've never played Mother 1, so I can't say about that. Earthbound sucks, never liked it, but Mother 3 is fantastic. I played the translation on Game Boy Advance emulator years ago. Wasn't Reggie Fils-Aimé trying to get that released or localized in the US for years? Too bad Reggie's not around anymore. Nintendo would definitely be in a better shape than it is now. I mean, the Nintendies, but Mother 3 is better than Earthbound. I don't care. Like, oh, you're a No, people love Mother 3 anyway, but Earthbound, I'll just keep saying it. Earthbound fucking sucks. I never understood the praise that game got. It's so bad. Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. Yeah, I mean, you gotta include a Dragon Quest game. By virtue of including it, you effectively include 8, it's 5, 6, 7. I guess the 3 remake that just came out, people will probably say that's better now because it's, you know, it's got the HD 2D graphics, but really any Dragon Quest game. I would have to agree, 11's my favorite Dragon Quest game. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I mean, they already included Xenogears, so let's include Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I mean, fine, you know, I guess by virtue of the booba, I would have said Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for Mithra and Pyra, or Homura and Hikari, as they're properly called. But you want to include 3, fair enough. Now, here's the one where I take issue. Metaphor ReFantazio. I feel like this game's too new to include on this list, although I guess Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is kind of new as well. But this came out not even a year old. I haven't played it, so I can't really say. I guess, I think it's wild that it's there, but it is what it is. Final Fantasy X. My favorite game of all time and my favorite Final Fantasy game. It's very nice to see it on this list, but again, we have the misrepresentation of the game where people don't even understand why it's so good, where, you know, as we get to it. Okay, so right away, this guy, he talks about the older stuff, and then he mentions fucking Stranger of Paradise, and there's old Final Fantasy 4, 8, and he mentions fucking Jack, and like this scene where he mentions Jack, and he's thrown in the punch to licked, and he goes, I don't give a fuck who you are, you know? And he punches like, which Stranger of Paradise is a fucking great game. It is so good. But it's definitely not a top 25. It's a great game for both being like a corny and over the top with the voice acting, but also having some edge to it and having like a pretty solid story for what it is, how it connects things. Stranger of Paradise is a based game, and it's a white man's game, let me tell you. But it's wild how they, like, misrepresent that, too, in this video. You have to watch it for yourself, as they're glazing over Final Fantasy VII Remake. And eventually they show... I thought they showed Jack. Did I see it in... Yeah, right here. There's Licked. And this is when Jack says, I don't give a fuck who you are! And he punches him. Which there's a funny moment in the DLC... with Stranger of Paradise, where the Luthenians are talking to him, and Jack's not taking any of the bullshit, and he, like, grabs her by the neck, ready to kill her, and he, like, chokes her to death. Shut the fuck up! I'll include that clip in this video.
Shut the fuck up.
But, you know, talking about Final Fantasy X, again, most of this segment is talking about the other games and all that stuff, and then... You better believe it. They do the oh, did you know Titus laughed? Ah, ha, 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 ha. The fucking people filtered by this laugh for all these years. I mean, if you don't understand this laugh after playing, like if you haven't played the game, okay, you're not gonna get it. But if you played Final Fantasy X and you still don't understand how Kino the laugh is and how important it is to the story, it's Titus's coping that he's in the world of Spira. I don't know where I am, or where I even came from. How do I get home? And he's coping by laughing. And he's laughing so much that Yuna, you probably shouldn't laugh anymore. And then she starts laughing. It's such a great scene. And the fact that 24 years later, this is still filtered so many people is wild to me. It's absolutely wild. But I love it. It's Kino. So then number 2, Persona 5. I mean, again... I guess, you know, there's 2 left. I probably should have done this for the entire video, but the list was better to see that. So yeah, Persona 5 Royal. I mean, again, you gotta include a Persona game. I personally would have included Persona 4, but Persona 5 is good. I hate the stigma with Persona 5 because it got so many people who don't belong here into the JRPG franchise. Like, you know, Persona 5 fan plays Persona 5 for the first time. It's a great game. It really is, but... It is a little overrated. Although the fact that it is overrated doesn't mean it's a bad game, if that makes any sense. It's great. It definitely belongs on the list. I would have included this and maybe Persona 4 Golden, because Persona 4, especially Golden with Marie. I mean, yeah, Marie. Although Best Girl Rise. And definitely play Persona 5 Strikers. Now, of course, the most predictable one, number 1, Chrono Trigger. I mean, Chrono Trigger definitely belongs, but I don't think it's the best RPG of all time. Again, it's everyone's opinion. I think when people make these lists, it's all subjective on like what games you played at what point in your life. I might as well tell you now the top 3, which I promised earlier in the video. My top 3 favorite JRPGs of all time, starting with number 3, is Tales of Berseria, believe it or not, which I only played that game relatively recently. I want to say in either 2022 or 2023, so a couple of years ago. I think it was 2022. But it's such a great game. It resonated with me so well. The cast of characters, Velvet Crow, just so good. And what I especially liked about it too is there are only 6 party members. And I feel a lot of JRPGs have too many party members. I mean, in the case of the Trails series, especially Trails of Cold Steel 4 and Reverie, too many party members there is great. But in most games, like the 6 party members is solid, especially Tales of Berseria when it's all meaningful to the story. So, and it's just a fantastic story. I love Berseria. I gotta replay it one of these days. My number 2 is Kingdom Hearts 2. Again, a game I played, back when it came out. 2005 in Japan, 2006 in the US. So I played it like 2006. I was probably like 12 years old. So yeah, of course, it resonated with me and I loved it. And especially having played most of the Final Fantasies at that time and knowing who Cloud was and Squall and the Battle of the Heartless and that whole thing, and the edginess of the Nobodies and Roxas and all that good stuff. I have videos on the channel digging deep into Berseria, Kingdom Hearts 2, and then my number 1 game, of course. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 is my number 2 game, and my number 1 favorite JRPG and game of all time is Final Fantasy X. It's a game I played, again, back when it first came out on the PlayStation 2. I think it was either 2001 or 2002, and I played it. That's probably the game I played and beaten the most times. So good. Always loved the characters, the voice acting, the graphics, the music. 2 Xanarkin, Yuna's theme, Titus's theme, Wandering Flame. Wandering Flame is an underrated track, man. So good. And the turn-based combat, which, the turn-based combat in Final Fantasy X, I don't know if it directly inspired the Trail series, but the Trail series took aspects of Final Fantasy X with the turn order and things like that. And the spear grid, which every game has copied the spear grid. Like even you see in God of War, there's a spear grid. It's not even a JRPG, but it just shows you how good the spear grid was. And yeah, Final Fantasy X, they'll never make me hate you. Scrolling through the comments here, it's wild. Here we go. The music of 2 Xanarkin from Final Fantasy X still brings me to tears decades later. Absolutely correct. I wanted to see because some other people had stuff about the Final Fantasy stuff. Like, choosing Final Fantasy X over 6 is wild. Like, shut the fuck up, man. My definitive order for... I'll do a video, going into this in greater detail at some point because I haven't done it. I did a tier list a while ago, but I need to revise that and just do a ranking. 10 is my favorite. 8 is number 2. And 5 is number 3. 6 is good. 6 is good. But 5 is the best of the Pixel games. I'm not particularly a fan of 7. 8 and 9 are better than 7. And it's just crazy to see. Like, there should be at least 5 Final Fantasies. What 5? I mean, I'd probably put 8 and I'd probably put 8 and 10. But what other 5? Wild how even after all these years, we're still debating if Final Fantasy 6, 7, 9, or 10 is the best. Why do we exclude 8? Like, dude, 8 is so underrated, man. These people were filtered by the junction system and don't appreciate how good 8 is. And it's not even... It is Squall, but also people omit Laguna, how great Laguna is of a character. 10 in Persona 5, is that a good job? Okay, so some things that are missing. People are mentioning Skies of Arcadia. We'll go back to this. People are mentioning Skies of Arcadia, I guess. Legend of Dragoon is another one. Another thing that I'm noticing, too, is where's Fire Emblem? I mean, I'm not even the biggest Fire Emblem fan, but there's no Fire Emblem here. I would also put Growlancer. Like, let's be honest. We got to get rid of Live Alive and Bravely Default 2. I would get rid of Ni no Kuni. I'd get rid of Paper Mario. And Octopath Traveler, honestly. Earthbound, I'd just replace with Mother 3. Mother 3 would belong there. But yeah, put Legend of Dragoon in there. Put a Fire Emblem game in there, whichever you like. I guess Skies of Arcadia. Valkyrie Profile, either 1 or 2. Put one of them in there. I'm just trying to think. That's why it's difficult to make a top 25 list. But IGN, you know, you have all this money, all this budget, all these subscribers. You can't make like a proper top 25. And to put, like, again, no disrespect to Live Alive or Bravely Default 2. Fine game, and even Ni no Kuni. Fine games, but are they really in the top 25? I mean, let's be real here. I mean, hell, I'd even put an Atelier game in there. An Atelier game. I don't know, but yeah, I would put Growlancer. I would put Legend of Dragoon. Maybe Skies of Arcadia. Something else. What are the other commenters here saying? Yeah, again, the Final Fantasy X. People are so salty about Final Fantasy X. You put Rants on there! Based! I gave that guy a thumbs up. Radiata Stories. Oh yeah, Radiant Historia. I think I mentioned that earlier. Radiata Stories is a different game, but Radiant Historia on the DS and 3DS, I would absolutely put that there. Let's see, this guy's... Yeah, Persona 4 Golden, I would have put that there. Trails. It's cool that they mentioned Trails. Suikoden. Final Fantasy X. Trails in the Sky. Nah, no Lufia 1 or 2. Chrono Cross? Yeah, honestly, I put Chrono Cross on there. Why not? But yeah, it's all subjective. Everyone can make their own list and figure it out for themselves. I already gave you my top 3. What do you guys think? And again, the order doesn't really bother me, but what bothered me most of the video is just how bad a fucking video it was. And when talking about Final Fantasy X, like, we can't not talk about Titus's laugh. It's just wild, man. Like, why are we still talking about Titus's laugh when the people who play this game understand how incredible this scene is? Honestly, it's an incredible scene that just filters so many smooth brains. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Everybody have a great day, and peace out.
99.